Hey guys, we're going to get started here in just a second with Andrew Demeter. We're going to see if we pronounce that name right, but he's just about to hop on here. So stay tuned. This is Yakker Bot Talk. I'm your host, Thomas Hybki. Hey.
Thomas, what's up?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing well for Friday.
Just getting in your car and driving home?
No, so I'm actually at school. I am in an elevator right now, and I am descending to the first floor because usually when I do interviews or calls, I like to get some exercise because God knows I spend too much of my time otherwise on the computer.
Yes, I'm very well aware of that from the Facebook groups.
Yeah, no kidding. Unfortunately, that's not a bot.
Yeah, well, no, you can tell it's not a bot, or if it was, it'd be a ridiculously advanced one. So,
yeah, plot twist, Thomas. I'm actually working with Facebook on that, and it's some next level technology.
Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome. Well, I'll just be honest with you. We're recording right now, so I can totally edit that out if you want me to.
No, I don't know. No, that was a joke, but
no, dude,
not an NDA issue.
You totally
did you really?
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh. You heard it here first, people.
That's great. That's great.
Awesome. Well, let me just ask this first question. I just want to make sure I'm getting your last name right. Is it Demeter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
It is Demeter. Everybody gets it wrong, though, so it's all good.
Demeter.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the Greek god, except I think the Greek god might be pronounced differently, so maybe I'm lying to you. And I almost just got run over by a car, so that's fun. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Demeter.
That would probably send this podcast episode into the stratosphere. So, but we'll see if we can avoid that and get ratings elsewhere. So.
Hopefully.
So
put a wrench in a few other things too.
Oh, totally. So, yeah, I mean, this podcast is really, it's all about just getting people introduced to bots and what's possible, and talking about what people are doing and how they can actually benefit from this. So, from your experience, I mean, am I correct in assuming that you work with ChatFueled?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, cool. Because that's what I saw on your Facebook profile. So I was like, well, I hope that's right,
Secretly, I'm a liar.
Yeah,
now
right.
You don't want me on the podcast anymore.
No, totally. No, dude, I'll just share everybody something with everybody. I mean, yesterday at 9:30 my time, which is 11:30 your time, you went on this crazy 30-minute blitz of answering questions. Now, with most groups, I would assume that it'd be kind of crickety. But I mean, how many comments were on this whole thing? I mean, it was
and well, if you want to know the funnier and perhaps more pathetic story behind that is I did that like a couple hours before I went to bed last night, and then in the morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm tempted to do it again, but I resisted the temptation.
Oh man!
But no, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun.
I'm just glad I caught it because there were so many great questions and so many, like, just the responses were just like, I assumed it was a bot, like just how fast you were answering the questions.
I'm telling you, it's that secret Facebook technology.
Yeah, that super next level stuff.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, I mean, obviously, to me, there's two platforms. There's ChatFueled and there's minichat, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's like a pretty safe assumption.
Yep, I think it's a fair. Go ahead.
So with that, I mean, can you just step it back just one pace before somebody even gets into ChatFueled or minichat and just describe like what is a bot to you and how is it beneficial?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a bot essentially is software that runs on your existing Facebook fan page. A lot of people are like, well, wait, can it work in a group? Can it work in my profile? The answer is no. But basically, it's software and it runs, and it's a combination of two different things. The first aspect is rich elements and text. So basically, just like you normally would communicate, you have these different ways of sort of formalizing ideas to make a weird sounding phrase. So you can use, in the concrete, what that looks like is you can use images, videos, audio, and text as well. So that's the one component of it. It's the software that has and uses rich elements to communicate as well as text. And then you also have the other element, which is AI or artificial intelligence. So you can actually process in an intelligent way, just like natural conversation. So the two components of it really are, you can have like menus and buttons like you would traditionally on a website, but then you also have this other sub-layer of artificial intelligence that you can use to sort of take your conversations to the next level, make them more meaningful.
Okay,
And
awesome.
then, so that's, I guess that's the explanation. And then as far as benefits, I mean, there's so many, but I guess I'll just go over the ones that come to the top of my head. First off is open rates. With messenger bots, you can send broadcasts. So basically you can create, just like you would on an email list, create an audience of subscribers on your bot, and then you can send out broadcasts. And the open rates right now that people are getting are anywhere between like 50 to 100%, which obviously compared to email is, you know, significantly better.
Yeah, night and day difference.
Because with email, the average open rate, I believe, is like 20 to 30%. And obviously compare that to, you know, 50 or 100% is a big leap. So open rates are one component of it. Built-in data is another. So, you know, when you're using a bot, you can automatically import the user's first and last name, gender, and a couple other things like their profile picture. So as opposed to a website where people who visit and interact are kind of anonymized, with a bot, you have that data, which helps for, you know, from a marketing standpoint, from segmentation, things like that. Excuse me. Other big things, I guess, would be native payments on Messenger. So you can actually transact with people right in Messenger. They can buy your products and things like that without having to redirect them to a sales page that's loading slow. So I guess those are the main ones that come to mind. I know there's others that I'm forgetting right now, but I would say the open rates are what make it really attractive to marketers right now. And then payments as well, and you know, all the built-in data that you get. I would say those are the kind of the key ones. And then the last one too would be like integrating with existing data systems and pushing data elsewhere to third-party apps. So for example, Thomas, I know you already know this, but you know, you could integrate, say that you have a lead magnet that you're trying to get people to be attracted to in your bot. That was kind of a weird phrasing of that, but say that you're promoting a lead magnet in your bot and you want people to claim that. What you can do then is say, you know, directly in the bot, ask them, hey, what's your email? If you still want to build an email list, and then you can push that email that you just gathered right into like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, whatever you want. So you can do that all within the bot. So at the end of the day, it really makes for a more efficient user experience. And that's kind of the beauty of it, in my opinion. So that's a long-winded answer to your question, but hopefully it helps.
No, it totally helps. It really leads into where I was kind of wanting to go with that. Now, the kind of the follow-up question to that is, you know, where does ChatFuel and minichat actually step into that, or like what's their role in this whole process?
Yep. Yeah. So both minichat and ChatFuel essentially are like, it's kind of like I was going to say the Matrix, but that doesn't make sense. It's kind of like Inception. Like they're the software that helps you create software. So essentially, both of them are visual builders. I've actually never used ManyChat, so I can't speak to it that much. But basically, they're both visual builders that connect with Facebook's messaging APIs that allow people like you and I to create bots for our users and then deploy those on our Facebook pages. So yeah, ManyChat and ChatFuel are really the leading bot platforms. There's a ton of smaller like startups. It's kind of funny. It seems like there's a new one coming out like every couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah, ChatFuel is the reason that I was attracted to it is a couple reasons. One is JSON APIs, which allow you to integrate with these third-party services in addition to a custom server that you might have with like existing databases. So that's one reason that I like ChatFuel. Also, it allows for the native payments. And then what else? And then the other thing that I was going to say is that a lot of really neat bots have been developed on ChatFuel. Tommy Hilfiger, Burberry. What other ones am I forgetting? The Golden State Warriors, Katy Perry, Josh Bocanegra, who I don't know if you're planning on talking to. He's really big in the bot space. I'm sure you already know of him.
Yep.
And he is working on one right now for Fergie. So
oh my gosh.
Definitely, yeah. So he's super well connected. I'm jealous of the people that he works with, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lots of companies are jumping into the space. Oh, and then there's one more. I can't think of it. I don't know if it was made on ChatFuel specifically, but Like airlines are getting involved too, which like from a developer standpoint, that sounds like an absolute nightmare to like just going to the airport as an individual. It's confusing, let alone like trying to facilitate all the logistics of that. So props to whoever got started with that. But anyway,
seriously.
Another long-winded answer.
No, it's great. I love it. It's nice and thorough. So I don't know if everybody's going to be familiar with JSON. Can you describe a little bit more about what that is and how that's beneficial?
Yep. So basically, and I'm not super familiar with it myself, honestly, because I'm not a programmer. That's originally the reason why I was attracted to ChatFuel. But yeah, so essentially what a JSON API allows you to do, at the end of the day, like in the concrete, what it looks like is just a URL. And it's a URL that allows you to send data back and forth from, in this case, ChatFuel to another database, third-party service, something like that. So for example, like I mentioned earlier, if you're capturing, say that you're a real estate agent and you have a quote-unquote lead form in the bot, you ask questions and gather different data about the customer. What you can do then is, once that's gathered in the bot, push it through the JSON API to, for example, Google Sheets, to Infusionsoft, like I mentioned. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can actually do with the bot, instead of just limiting it to, a text or menu-based sort of like user flow, if that makes any sense. And another really useful use case for it, for the JSON API, is that you can integrate with other artificial intelligence engines. So I've done this before. I've integrated with API.ai, which is now called Dialogflow. That's Google's AI engine. And so that allows you to really, sort of like plug into ChatFuel's existing framework and then sort of create more extensive or, more robust user experiences using these other sort of platforms and apps.
Wow. Well, I don't even know what to say there. That's awesome.
This is just the point where we end the podcast. That's
right?
it.
Yeah. Podcast is done. Mic drop. Well, I mean, I do have a couple more questions. How much time do you have?
I probably have, I have to get back to the forums at some point and just go on rampages. But I've probably got like half an hour.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I figured it'd be about half an hour.
Well, I
total.
told you too at the beginning. I'm walking while I'm doing this, and that's probably why you might hear sirens or people talking.
Oh, totally fine.
Or maybe like rats making the sounds that they make. But what I was going to say is the more time that I talk to you, the better, because it's more exercise. And like I said, God knows that I need that.
Step away from the computer, sir.
I see now we should make a bot that does that, like an Andrew get off the computer bot that like gives just in that same tone. I love it. That's what we could. That would actually be super. That'd be super easy to do. Actually, what I could do is create like a broadcast sequence in ChatFuel and then like record your audio of that, and then like every day, or better yet, like every 12 hours, it just sends me that.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe with like a GIF of you, or like some related GIF that's like motivating, like maybe is it Shia LaBeouf who does the just do it thing?
Yep.
Like, yeah, that sounds like an excellent use case.
Awesome. So with like somebody who's just looking to get into this, I mean, what's the best route to go? I mean, what's the first step that they can actually take to jump into the bot world?
Yeah, great question. So what I would suggest is, not that I by any means have the right answer, but I'd suggest doing what I did to start out, really, which was 10 months ago now. I feel so old. But basically what I did was just go into ChatFuel and just, experiment, trial and error. I don't think I told you about this Java assignment for school that I've been working on, but it's an absolute nightmare because I'm not a programmer, but I'm trying to get somewhat familiarized with it. Oh my God, I don't even remember where I was going with that. My mind goes so many places at once. But yeah, so that's what I was going to say about trial and error. Like this Java assignment, I honestly, like 2 days ago, had no idea what I was doing. But through like hours and hours, and I mean hours of trial and error, like I actually managed to complete it. So that's what I would suggest. Just like having a simple objective in mind at first, and then going through, making mistakes, like figuring out, okay, if I do this, this happens. If I do this, this doesn't happen. So it's probably not like the quickest way to learn. But that's how I did it. And, I literally made like 20 bots in like a couple months. A lot of those weren't good at all. They weren't even functional probably. But that's what I would suggest. Just a lot of trial and error, going in, getting your hands dirty. And then I also do have a 3-hour training course that I offer too. I made that a couple months ago. So it's a little bit outdated now, I guess. If you look, it's funny, the ChatFueled UI is completely different now.
Oh, wow.
But that's, I'd say that's to plug myself a little bit. It's kind of like an extensive dive into bots and specifically ChatFueled, but sort of how you can build basic things, how user attributes work, broadcast, segmentation, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you mind if I link that to the show notes?
No, Thomas, I forbid you to do it.
Yes. No form of promotion, right?
No.
Oh my gosh.
But even though I'm like a harsh moderator, I will say that in the group. Like, I hate when, like, I'm all about, it sounds so dumb, but it's like I'm all about native content. Like, instead of like linking to something, like post the video, like upload it directly to the group. It's like, I hate when it's just like a spam fest. So it was funny too, because the main way that we actually got users into the Facebook group was through ChatFuel's bot, and we sent out a big broadcast and we got a ton of users in it. So literally I was like at my computer approving people, and we've got like, it had to be like 3,000 people in the first like couple hours. So I was approving people, and then there were like all these random people who were like starting live streams. Like one person was just like in his closet, like live streaming. It had nothing to do with ChatFueled, but
oh my gosh.
I guess that's very tangentially related, but it was a funny experience.
That sounds super exciting. Is that still on in the group?
No, that person was banned within seconds.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, the one thing I like about the group is it's A, it's really, really active, and then B, there's so many people that are so helpful. Within 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour or so, you get a pretty decent answer to your question, which is awesome.
Oh, Tom, that's not my goal. I usually try within like a minute, but
I know that, and I want to know your secret, but
the secret is no social life. It's pretty simple.
Well, no social life and no sleeping, apparently, because
yeah.
Like little cat naps or something throughout the day with your phone on.
I actually don't take naps, and I don't drink coffee, so maybe that's the secret.
Oh my gosh, there you go. Super clean, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
no
so
beer,
awesome.
No smoking. I'm a pure chatbot creator.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was funny. I was talking to somebody else, and they said always practice safe botting. So
yes, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Except I know some people who drink while they make these bots, and apparently it really gets the creative juices flowing.
Yeah, like Al, I forget his last name.
Yeah.
He has
Al
a Tropic Thunder.
And
character.
Mary Catherine Johnson. They are what I refer to as my bot parents.
Yeah, I saw that post. That was funny. Bot mom, bot dad. Now, what's the story behind that?
Much.
I mean, is there any significance? I mean, did they teach you something?
No, not really. Well, Al, I mean, to say that they taught me nothing it sounds like really, really selfish. So, no, I mean, I've definitely learned some stuff from them, but no, they're complete strangers. I've never met them in real life. But they like, Al has just the funniest, like driest sense of humor, and it's hilarious.
Oh, he is hilarious.
And then Mary Catherine Johnson, who I also refer to as MKJ, because that has a nice ring to it. She's just like, she lives in California, and she's just like the epitome of like, I don't know, like this sounds derogatory and it's not intended to be, but like hippie, like cool mom. Like, and she, like her positive vibes, like I swear she could be like a yogi or something. And
sure.
she's awesome. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
I don't know them, and don't really have much connection other than in the bot world, but they're my bot parents.
Nice. Yeah, I should actually have Al on the podcast tomorrow. He was helping me with some Ever webinar linking and whatnot. So to try to get somebody to register directly with the bot.
Yeah, he is your expert at like all things coding in context of bots. He is. Yeah. He's been in the game for like 20 years or something. So I was on a call with him a while ago, and he was telling me that. I'm like, okay, I guess I don't feel so bad about myself for like not knowing this then.
I think he described himself once as a bot god to me in a private message. Like,
Oh yes, yes. I call him that too, and well, not a bot god, but just like a god in general. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, oh no, I'm not. But he's like, yeah, actually, I kind of am. So that's another example of his great sense of humor.
right, with his freaking whiskey in his hand, you know, taking a
Yeah,
sip.
he is what I aspire to be.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah, he's working on some cool stuff. So, I mean, what do you do at ChatFueled then? I mean, tell me more about that. What's that like?
Yep. So so far, I mean, I've only been helping him out for like a couple weeks now, but basically, I mean, like the Facebook community is really the extent of what I do. I mean, obviously, I've had the course, so I don't know if we're going to try to work on creating some more like video content and tutorials as well, because I know a lot of people have been asking for that. So I guess I'm kind of the social media guy, the mediator between the people and the kings at the top of ChatFueled, I guess. So I kind of help facilitate like dialogue, and I mean, I guess it's stretching it and making it sound like I'm cooler than I actually am.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's mostly I just manage the group and sort of give suggestions for how the platform can be improved.
No, that's awesome. So you're in pretty good touch with ChatFueled management and on what sort of things get developed and in what order.
Yeah, so well, I'm not quite as involved in the development. I just give like suggestions more than anything. Another thing that I do is help with like bug reporting. So basically, if somebody in the community is like, "Hey, you know, my bot is not responding, or my bot hates me, or whatever the case might be," I can send that to the engineers and be like, "Hey, this should be looked at because we don't want our users to be upset." So that's kind of my main role.
That's awesome. Okay. Good. Yeah, I don't even know where to go from there, man. What
It's a hard segue.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, what's the best thing about working at ChatFueled? I mean, do you get any special privileges, like any sort of behind the scenes features that you're testing?
Yeah, they have a special program. It's called Snack Fuel. It's unlimited free snacks. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, that's fast. You're quick on your feet.
No, actually, that was a pun that somebody made in the community a while ago.
Nice.
So as much as I'd love to take credit for it, I can't. So the best thing about, I guess I would say just like that's actually a tough question. Again, I've only been like involved for a little bit now. I guess the coolest thing would just be that, like they're very focused on the community, which I guess is something that I'm like involved in now.
Yeah.
Well, it is something that I can't talk, involved in. The bot's got my tongue, but anyway, I guess the coolest thing I keep thinking and stalling, I guess, but the coolest thing would just be that like everybody on the team is very involved in the community and like listening to feedback and suggestions, because that's actually how I got like the quote unquote job that I have. Because basically, I think it was really with the course that I made, like it got a fair amount of attention from the team, and they're like, and just being active in the forums too, and like helping people out. And they really noticed me, and they're like, "Hey, like, do you want to help us out?" I'm like, "What kind of question is that?" Of course. Actually, it didn't go so much like that. I did kind of like second guess and like be like, I don't know if I have the time to commit to this and everything. So yeah, I guess just like their interaction and responsiveness to the community, I guess is what I would say is the coolest part, even though that's kind of like not really answering your question, but I guess that's my best answer.
No, I love it. I love it. So can you give some, I mean, have you worked with any people that are like with agencies?
Yeah.
Like that have agencies themselves?
So I'm trying to think of a specific example. I mean, I don't know. It's funny because just like, cause I do like the stuff that I do at ChatFueled, but I also build bots for clients with my own business on the side. So I have, but my point to mentioning that is that like, I guess I'll consult with like people who have agencies, but a lot of times like I'll think that they want me to like work on something, but then it falls through. So I don't know if you could like say that I've officially done it or not. But yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with people who have agencies and, you know, are looking to implement bots. So again, I don't know if that answers your question, but there you go.
Yeah, I guess, you know, what sort of features and what sort of bots are people creating with agencies? I mean, is it just like they hit a niche and then they just roll with it, you know, like CrossFit and then everything? Or what have you experienced just in the community?
So I guess my best example of that would probably be Josh Bocanegra, because he is, you know, hyper focused on the, like, I wouldn't even say influencer, like straight up celebrity niche.
Yeah,
like I said,
Fergie.
he's done stuff with, yeah, Fergie. I think I don't know if he's already done a bot for Snoop Dogg or if it was just like a proof of concept or something, but he's really working with like the big players, not even in the bot space, but in Hollywood essentially. So he's done some really cool stuff. And I guess that would be my best example of like somebody who's really targeted and like dominated a specific niche. But I mean, other niches in general that bots can be used for, like real estate seems to be a really big one. Like car dealerships, I wouldn't say that's as big, but it's definitely like being considered. Restaurants are huge. What else? Just like for influencers in general who want to have their own bot. I think bots in like the medical or healthcare space, I don't know if the technology is fully there yet, but I think those are going to be really cool. Like, for example, using facial recognition or like image recognition technology, like somebody, and this wouldn't apply in all cases, but somebody, you know, like takes a picture of themselves and it says, you know, we have like X amount of certainty, X% of certainty that, you know, you have this like sickness or hopefully not a disease, but like those are, I feel like, again, I don't know if the technology is not there. I'm not the one who would ever like build something that complex probably. But that's kind of where I see things heading in the long term.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then bringing it back more to the present, what is something like, just let's take realtors as an example. I mean, what sort of features would they actually build for an agent? Like why would an agent actually want it?
So that's a good question. I haven't done it for a specific agent yet. What I have done is one for like an actual real estate company. And it's funny because I posted the example of that. I think you might have actually seen it. I posted an example in the forum yesterday. And then the client was actually like, you need to stop like giving this as a demo. Like we're getting all these like false inquiries and stuff. I'm like, oops, man. Like sorry about that. So, so to answer your question about the features of that, I mean, I think the biggest and most effective would just be like segmentation for one, and then home lookup. So for example, you know, the user could, so there's actually two ways. One would just be if somebody like ordinarily goes to the real estate company's Facebook page and messages the bot, and then, you know, they can search for homes in this zip code, homes in this price range, things like that. Or the other one, which I've done more specifically with this past client, is running the bot through Facebook ads. So, you know, running a specific property, like showing the image of it, the address, price range, whatever. And then for the, you know, the interested buyer, for example, or the interested seller to, well, I guess it would be a buyer in this case, for the interested buyer to like send their information or submit their information to, you know, submit an inquiry, they would click the call to action button on that ad and then, you know, just go through the bot sequence. And that's another really cool use case. Instead of, you know, having to ask the person submitting the lead form, you know, what's your first name, what's your last name, you can automatically grab that from their profile. So it's kind of one less step to getting more leads. So you're going to typically get higher conversion rates as a result of that. So those are the two main use cases I would say is, you know, if people just go to the page normally, they can search basically a directory of homes in specific criteria. And then I don't think that was a full sentence, but I think you understand. And
totally get it.
And then the second aspect, like I said, would be running like specific properties through Facebook ads to a bot where then you can capture that lead data.
Right. Okay. And then like, let's just take restaurants as the next example. What sort of features and functions would a restaurant bot have that would make it like really attractive to the restaurant owner saying, holy crap, I need that, so that somebody could be like, hey, here's what I can do for you.
Yeah, definitely. So the restaurant one, and I've done, a proof of concept for this actually. The general flow for it, for example, could be people go in, they go to their table, they either scan a QR code or just enter the number that's on their table. Then it opens up the menu in the bot. They can look through, there's, you know, carousels of images so they can actually see what the food looks like instead of just, you know, relying on the text of a menu. Then they could order the food and specify, you know, what specific ingredients they want or don't want, then they pay for it right within the bot. So at the end of, their dinner, for example, or lunch, they don't actually have to wait to, pull out their credit card, give it to the waiter or waitress, have them run it back, give the tip, etc. So instead of doing all that, you could just pay for it right within the bot. And then after you do that, for example, the order ticket could get sent to the kitchen. It gets printed out. And then because you have the user's name from the bot, but since I mentioned earlier how you can also import a profile picture, you can then attach that profile picture to that order ticket. So even though nobody's waited on them before, they know what their face looks like. So they don't have to say, which one of you is Andrew, for example. So that's like a very high level use case. And then in addition to that too, like if you want to order alcohol, for example, and you want to check.
Oh, did I lose you?
Go ahead.
Oh, so you were saying if you wanted to order alcohol and then you went silent.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I must have broken up. The ChatFueled team must be summoning me.
Right.
Anyway, if you wanted to order alcohol, for example, obviously the restaurant wants to do an ID check. So then you could, for example, upload a picture of your ID. It goes through an image recognition API, like a database. And then, if you're too young, it doesn't let you order, or if you're old enough, then it does let you order. So again, it's like a super complex example, but that's, one of the features. And then of course, the cool thing with that is, since now everybody in your restaurant, and it would have to be the right demographic too, because obviously if it's like if it's like some old people diner, like that's not going to fare well because they're not going to use Facebook Messenger. But then obviously the advantage of that is you have all these people using your bot, and then, you can send out broadcasts based on, their past orders. You can do upsells too. So, again, another long explanation, but there's a lot of room for opportunity there.
Yeah, because I mean, you can tag everything that they do within the bot itself. So I mean, if they order steak, you can, and they don't order, something like seafood or whatever, you're obviously not going to promote, a $10 off or something, or a free meal for seafood. You're gonna push the steak.
Exactly. And then you could even do reminders like the proof of concept one that I did every. Basically, it was like a hip, millennial restaurant or whatever. So, so basically I think it was like every Tuesday they had vegan night. Every Monday it was like paleo night or something. So then you can also send out, consistent reminders. Like, you probably wouldn't want to do it every week maybe, because that could get spammy, but basically say like, hey, this month we have these specials, stop by or whatever. Obviously you'd want to be more creative and provide more of an incentive in your copy, but that's an example.
Oh, that's intriguing. And then just going to these like celebrity bots, something that I was curious, like what the heck are they even putting in there? Is it just some funny comments and some funny interactions? I mean, what's like, with an online personality, it's like, what do you do for them?
Yeah, so it can have a lot of different use cases. Honestly, I haven't gone through them as extensively as I probably should.
No, be honest, you went through Katy Perry's. Just be honest, you went through Katy Perry's bot.
Maybe I've used her filters once or twice. There's another cool bot that Josh did where it's for this, I want to say I think the influencer's name is like Karachi or something. I don't know. I butcher bad names, or I butcher names that I don't know. That sounded really mean.
No,
anyway,
me too.
Like
me too, man.
In that bot though, like the celebrity influencer, whatever you want to call them, sells lipstick as their like e-commerce product. Okay. And using these JSON APIs again, and using like image recognition technology, you can actually apply like to different tones of lipstick to your face. So admittedly, or not to your face, to your lips. That would probably look pretty bad otherwise.
Well, that's a little bit more of like Joker and Batman sort of thing, right?
Yeah, well, it is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so, why so serious?
But yeah, so that's one example. But to answer your question about like the actual use case, I think honestly it's more like these pages are like ridiculously huge. Same with the Golden State Warriors. Like they have millions of followers and stuff. Like I don't think in most cases they're not trying to like sell anything. It's more so just to engage the audience. So, in Katy Perry's, they have filters. They have like a quiz that you can, or like a Q&A where you can ask a question and get a response. And then obviously broadcast stuff too. So those are like,
hey, I'm going to Florida, cases. At blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually a perfect use case. Cause I know Josh set that up. I think it was for Katy Perry's, where basically, you know, it says, hey, do you want to get tour updates or whatever? The users then go in using the send location plugin, which uses their GPS, and then it can keep track of, you know, what state the user's in. So then if she's going to, you know, I mean, granted, again, Katy Perry's not going to have a problem like selling out a concert, but when she goes to, you know, a certain place, obviously you have all those users segmented and you could just send out a broadcast probably before you would actually make the tickets like public or whatever. But yeah, that's just an example of segmentation and how that can really benefit the not Katy Perry's of the world.
I just love how hyper focused you can get. I mean, that absolutely lends itself to the open rate and the click through rate. Just with any industry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just crazy stuff that you can do. Again, it will be interesting to see, because I mean, I'm not gonna like I was gonna say shy about it, but that's probably not the word I'm looking for. But it'll be interesting to see, because obviously, like right now, we're in this stage of like early adoption with bots, and these open and click-through rates are super high.
Right.
So I mean, it's only reasonable to assume that obviously as the market becomes more saturated over time, they're going to go down. But obviously, you know, people like email open rates and click-through rates absolutely suck, but people are still, you know, still investing in email. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves, and more importantly, I think, or more interestingly, how Facebook really manages too, because they have like certain guidelines and rules for bots right now about, you know, what you can do, what sort of broadcasts you can send, things like that. But as of now, like they're not really being enforced. So it'll be interesting to see, because I think Facebook's like really doubling down and investing in Messenger right now. But I think over time, it'll be really interesting to see how they sort of, like manage and deal with spam bots. Because obviously, you know, if you've used 10 bots and you're getting tons of messages, that creates a bad user experience, and users are going to have, you know, a bad taste in their mouth. So that's more of like a long-term thing that we'll keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and that's what I say. That's why I say always practice safe botting. You don't want Facebook coming back later, dropping a hammer on you.
No, not at all. Especially if you have one of these bigger pages.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, just could, you know, kill your bottom line almost immediately. So where, you know, since you work with ChatFueled,
Thomas, I just realized that was a great pun you said right there. The bottom line.
Oh, bottom line. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm channeling my inner Al now.
Oh man, mine and Al's conversation is going to be freaking hilarious with this sort of, you know.
I can't wait.
Oh man, and then we'll have to get Mom on.
Sorry to. Yes, Mom. We should do a whole family podcast. Actually.
Oh my gosh, yeah, meet the family.
And you could be like the unrelated uncle.
Yeah, I'll be the Jerry Springer of the bot community. You know, just get everybody together.
Or the Dr. Phil.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Now,
but anyway,
Andrew.
I interrupted earlier. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, now, Andrew, listen
that's
to
a beautiful
your mother.
Impression.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible. So with ChatFueled,
we need a Dr. Phil bot.
I don't want to build that one. Not it.
We can nominate Josh to do it.
Yeah, Josh or Al.
Oh, Josh, or maybe both. But that could be the one feature we do, like a profile filter, and we just give everybody like that handlebar mustache, and there you go. That's all the bot does.
The Phil stash. So with ChatFueled, I mean, where do you guys see yourself going in the next like 6 months to a year? I mean, is there any light or like expectation
it's complete
that you
darkness at the end of the tunnel?
Nice. Okay.
No, that was a joke.
I get it.
Honestly, I don't feel like I'm the best person to ask for that. Like, I don't know like everything that the ChatFueled kings, as I call them. I've never actually called them that before this interview, but that's what I'm going to call them now.
Nice.
So
there you go.
I don't know. Like, I don't honestly know like everything that they have in mind. I mean, I know some stuff, but I can't say it.
No, obviously.
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's exciting stuff going on. There's lots of opportunity right now in the space. That's why, I'm not only helping ChatFueled out, but I have my own bot agency, if you want to call it that, on the side. So I think that's a testament of, what I believe in as far as bots and the potential there. I mean, I still feel like we're only. Do you hear that?
I heard something.
I don't know what's just. Yeah, some guy like laughing. I don't know if he was real or like drunk. I don't know. Anyway, So so yeah, there's lots of opportunity for sure. I feel like we're still only, scratching the surface, tip of the
Yeah.
iceberg, whatever metaphor you want to use. There's a lot of room for improvement, definitely. Facebook is still, every week probably making new changes to the platform, like finding new ways to integrate Messenger on Facebook. And I think, more than anything, those signs and like Facebook, like I mentioned earlier, really investing in the Messenger platform is sort of a bullish indicator, at least for me, to sort of, still keep moving forward in the space and improving and getting the results that bots are known for.
That's awesome. So are you currently accepting new clients?
Yes. Well, actually, no. If I'm a good marketer, I'll say, only today, 24 hours left.
Oh my
I only have
gosh.
2 spaces available.
But I mean, like, who's your ideal client? Like, if somebody was, I mean, who do you like to work with? And
I like to work with people who are fast and don't like delay stuff. Like I'm not going to name names or anything, obviously, but it's like I have some clients who just who stall and stall. I'm like, okay, like let's get this done. I literally even have some people who have paid me and I'm like, okay, are you ready to move forward? And I still don't get any response. I'm like, okay, do we start sending smoke signals? Like, I don't know.
Right.
So,
right.
So yeah, ultimately I like people who are quick, but I guess that's not a true answer to your question. I mean, in terms of use cases and industries, I mean, I like e-commerce is a big one. I think there's a lot of potential there. Real estate I'm interested in, just because my ideal client in real estate would just be somebody who sells ridiculously expensive properties, because that would just be awesome. Not even from me making money per a sale or anything like that. But just to do that, or to work with some luxury brand or big brand too. That, for whatever reason, that just really appeals to me. I guess just the impact associated with that, Josh,
well, and the
you said, I'm
experience
jealous
too.
of Josh.
Yeah.
And I mean the networking. I mean, there's so many different facets of it. So yeah, for sure, big clients, people involved in it, selling luxury stuff. And then anything involved with AI or NLP too. I recently worked with a restaurant client where we basically automated their Messenger inbox so that anytime somebody, sends a message related to, what's your phone number? Do you host private events? Do you, what's on your menu? Do you have vegetarian options? Things like that. It can intelligently respond. And I think that's just huge for customer support. It's the exception to have quick customer support, let alone instant customer support. So,
right.
So those are kind of some of the things that excite me, and I guess my ideal clients as well.
Nice. Okay. And so bottom line price, what sort of client would you accept?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of price would that be?
Anyone over $1 million. No, I'm kidding. What if I didn't say I was kidding?
I would be like, cool,
right?
Man, we'll find somebody.
Yeah, maybe in 10 years when inflation goes through the roof.
No, you know what? I mean, Josh got Fergie.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's true. But he's a brilliant guy. He's really good at sales, and he's a genius. But anyway, what was even your question? I don't remember.
Well, basically, I'm just if somebody feels like they fit this criteria of who you work with,
mm-hmm.
Are you open to having them reach out to you? Just, I'm just trying to help you out, man. Who should talk to you and who should just not even, waste their time and waste your time?
Only people with the title CEO on LinkedIn, even though they're not CEOs. Those are the people who I want to talk to. No, I'm kidding. So as far as pricing, typically, I mean, it depends on so many things. I need to write some sort of calculator on price. Because MKJ, Mary Catherine Johnson, she actually did something similar to this, a bot price calculator.
I think I saw that.
Really
yeah.
So there's really no standard right now. Typically, though, I charge between 1 and 10K, depending on the complexity of it and a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
But so that's typically what I do.
That sounds
but then
pretty on par. So
yeah, but it does depend though. If it's a huge client or they have 1 million products on e-com or something, then I mean obviously I price that differently.
Sure.
But more often than not, it falls between that 1 to 10K range.
Okay, cool. So guys, I mean, if you're listening to this and you're just looking to spend $50, don't reach out to Andrew. But I mean, if you're a serious business owner, you're wanting to get some help, where can somebody reach you if they are actually interested?
That's a good question. Facebook is honestly best. If you just search for my name, which I'm sure you'll probably have a link somewhere.
I will, yeah.
But yeah, so Facebook is really best for me. Other than that, I mean, I use email, but I feel like a complete hypocrite no, I was actually on the phone with a client earlier and he was like, okay, I'll get this to you via email or whatever. I'm like, did you just say that? Like, did you just
say the E word?
The E word. I love it. Yeah. So, I mean, it was all fun and games. Like I joke around with the guy, but yeah, it was funny. So, email. So yeah, Facebook is really best. I use email, but I hate it.
You, right?
The thing that I hate about it so much is that like you can send something, and I don't know, maybe this is just a personal thing and people ignore me and hate me, which could very well be the case. but it's like sometimes I'll send an email and it's like I don't even know, like so many emails of mine get caught in like junk, or maybe if mine get caught in junk again, it says more about me.
Sure.
But it's like I don't know if this got delivered. Like whereas on Facebook you can see if like the person read it, which sometimes annoys people. And I think Facebook like recently changed their algorithm too for that, because sometimes like somebody will message me and I won't like actually open the message because it's like I don't want to respond, and they'll still be like, hey, I saw that you saw my message. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think they might have changed the algorithm. But yeah, at any rate, funny. Facebook Messenger is my preferred method of contact.
Awesome, man. Good, dude. Well, that's 45 minutes. Hopefully you got some steps in. But I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. And then
absolutely. Thanks for the invite, and thanks for joining the group too, because I know you were really pulling the team last night in terms of asking questions.
Oh, that meme that I sent, I was seriously like that. I can't quite make that face, but that's how I felt. Just that shock.
One of the guy clapping.
Well, yeah, and his like mouth is open like 14 inches, just like with his jaw dropping, like eyes bulging out of his head.
To say that made my day would be an understatement.
The sad face was true too. Right before you said that's it, I was like, man, it's almost over. Dang it.
Yes.
Good, man. Well, I hope you do more of those. Those are awesome.
Yeah, no, I will definitely do that, and I like doing Facebook Lives too. But when your roommate's sleeping and you don't want to make a ruckus, you gotta do what you gotta do.
True. Just hide in the closet. Like that guy.
Yeah.
Do a Facebook Live from the closet.
That'd actually be I could do that on Halloween, get like a flashlight and like do the like complete darkness with you know what I'm talking about. I can't describe it, but
it scares me when people don't practice safe botting.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Blair Witch Project style.
This interview was worth its value in in entertainment, because this is more than I've laughed in like a month probably, which again says more about me than anything else. But
sure, man,
I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And then yeah, man, we'll end it here. I'm sure we'll chat on Facebook again in the group. And then if there's any updates, just ping me and I'll put it on the podcast. So
absolutely, Thomas. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too. And I'll end with my signature line. Chat soon.